online crew. How are you today? For those of you that are live, I think I'm about a minute late. So sorry if you've been sitting there waiting for me to kick in. I was just doing a live video in the video challenge group. So I just ran over. I've never talked so fast. So those of you that are in the video challenge, I've just done video number 9 where I've shared the content with you for days 5 to 8 and a whole lot of tips that and feedback. So if you're in the video challenge, please go over to the video challenge group after this video and check out video 9, jam-packed full of feedback, tips, strategies for live video, and the content for days 5 to 8. But what we're here for today is a little bit of real talk. I had something else to share with you today, but I'll share that tomorrow because I feel very strongly that I don't believe I can be a good mentor to people out there in the online world unless you share the good, bad, and the ugly. Now, what you see, 99% of the time is, all the good stuff and, me turning up 5 days a week and giving you live training. And I love being here. But it's also important to share with you guys that I'm a human being. I do a lot. And occasionally it gets to me too, okay? So how many of you have really felt overwhelmed with the journey on social media and everything that it brings with it, from creating content to going live to all the expectations of you? Some of you might still work. You're trying to grow a business on the side. You got to work out all the things that, work to grow your audience and get engagement and stuff like that. So I think it's really important that, even somebody like me sometimes has really bad days. And for me, that was yesterday. And I just want to talk to you guys and share it with you to show you the real side of the entrepreneurial journey as well. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you or not, but I feel as a mentor to you guys, I've got to share with you all the things. Not just the good things and not just the teaching, all the things, because I'm human. And I had no idea until I wrote it out yesterday. I've been telling you guys that I have 6 streams of income. I actually have 10. And if my husband paid me for doing all his finances, I would have 11. But I do that for the love. So juggling 10 different income streams, like I didn't even know it was that many until I wrote out, all the different things I do with coaching and mentoring. And I'm an affiliate, my coaching community, VIP groups, teaching at the gym, my consulting accounting work and stuff like that. So if I was actually on the payroll of my husband's business, then it would actually be 11. But you do that for your husbands, don't you? So I just want to share with you sort of what happened yesterday and just share my thoughts around this. Is that okay? Can I just have a real conversation with you today? So there's no hat, there's no captain. I'm not really teaching you anything other than just sharing, because we all have days, especially when you do as much as I do. And I don't want you to sit there and think you need to do as much as I do to be successful online, because you don't. I'm just a bit of a freak. I'm a workhorse. Yes, I push myself very hard. I've done that all my life. I'm sure some of that relates to losing my mum when I was a young girl, very independent very quickly. I had to be. Suddenly you're cooking meals and you're doing washing and all the stuff that normal people grow up in their households with, where mum and dad does that for you. My dad was a real estate agent 7 days a week, and I lost my mum. So I grew up really, really quickly, had to fend myself, all those things. So it's made me fiercely independent and fiercely driven for whatever reason. And for those of you that have that same kind of drive, it is something to watch when you don't know how to say no, you're managing a number of things, and when the overwhelm creeps in. So I want to share with you, because it's kind of funny now, but it wasn't at the time. So yesterday, call in the morning live here. Then I had a 2-hour call with someone with our team, and then heaps of messages going back and forth with my team. Just this week alone, Those of you that have a team in this industry, you know what end of month is like. And we just had a cracker end of month. Like, so proud of so many in our team, rank advancing, and, you know, heaps of customers and stuff. Like, it just went nuts. Okay, so throw that into the mix. Normally, I will admit, I am a very organized person. But you kind of you've all got some kind of ceiling. And then when things come in over the top, it's kind of like, whoa, you know, what's sort of going on here? And for me, there's been a number of those things. It's end of month, my consulting accounting work. I have to do invoicing at the beginning of the month. So I've got end of month and the beginning of the month in the beginning. We've had all sorts of issues with Zach's carrier with his mobile phone. I've spent hours on call center. Don't you hate call centers? And you try to get through and push all the buttons to who you want to talk to. And then you get to the stage where I did this 3 times, and they said, oh, we've sent you via text message a link to the website, which will now help you. And I was like, no, I want to talk to a real person, please. So things like that. One of my income streams, which I forgot, is I have investment properties. Do anybody you have you know, investment properties? I've got 3 of them, and one of them we've decided to renovate quite a bit, like bathroom completely being regutted, kitchen being redone, not fully, but sort of half, painting the whole thing. Like, when you bring all these extra things into your life over the top of what you normally do, throw in a free video challenge just because of the hell of it. Like, there's a ceiling, isn't there? What happens to you guys when you reach the ceiling? What do you do? For me, I reached my ceiling yesterday, and it's not a physical shake, but it's almost like I can feel the blood in my body almost boiling. Like, it hits me up here, and I can feel the stress. Like, have you ever felt that real stress where you actually know and you're telling yourself, I'm really stressed? And what really hit me is when I went and picked up the boys from school, and I was so stressed I wasn't with it, and I probably shouldn't have been driving a car. And on the way to school, I ran up on the curb, and there was a car coming the other way, but I corrected myself. That was the first one. And then the second one, after I picked up the kids, which is even worse because they were in the car. And, you know, I'm not proud of this, but I'm just sharing, okay? The real bad and the ugly, okay? That's what a good mentor does. I zoned out in the car, and there was a car in front of me that was stopping, and I wasn't. And Ollie, who was sitting in the front seat, just grabbed me and went, Mum! And I've looked around, and I've slammed on the brakes, and I've actually gone onto the other side of the road. And do you know how lucky I am that there was not another car on the other side of the road? Because that would have been a head-on. That's what I did yesterday. So I got home, and I was shaken. I was annoyed at myself. I was disappointed. Couldn't believe I'd done it. Shaken up the boys a little bit. Luckily, nothing went wrong, but that's not the point. Sometimes you get to that stage where the stress is so high that you're just not with it. And that's what I wasn't. And then my sister rang, and we were talking about Dad. It's my dad's 89th birthday today. And I did stay up until almost 3 o'clock in the morning last night doing work because we're taking Dad out for lunch today. And that's important. So I don't know a few hours sleep that I've had, but man, did I get some work done last night up until 3 o'clock in the morning. So I feel like I've caught up a bit. So I share this with you for a couple of reasons. I don't want you to look at me and all the things I do and all the income streams to feel like that's what you need to do to be successful, because you don't. I'm just a bit of a freak, okay? But I'm also human, and I have limits, and one of those limits was yesterday. But what's my point with all of this? I'm just sharing. Sometimes, you know, I get overwhelmed too because my to-do list gets out of control because I just do too much. I'm here free 5 days a week. Free video challenge. You know, there's lots going on, but my breaking point is all the extra stuff. It's renovating my investment property. It's spending hours on phone with telecommunication companies when you just can't speak to a human being. You know, Paul threw at me Sunday night 3 months worth of his figures to do what we call a BAS statement here in Australia. Like, it's a report that we have to give to the government with people that have got their own businesses. And I said, when's it due? And he said, Tuesday. I went, what? And yeah, needless to say, I was a little bit pissed off with that one. So I had to drop everything on Monday that I'd planned. I did have calls already planned, but everything I planned to do to set my week up was just all thrown. I had to go out the window. And sometimes that's life, isn't it, guys? That something comes, it's unexpected, and I had to drop everything that I'd planned, all the things that I was going to do, dates that I was going to set, trainings that I was going to do, all those kind of things all went out the window because I had to drop everything and do 3 months of Paul's figures on the computer. And it takes hours and hours and hours and hours. So throw that in with the renovation, end of month, beginning of month, and there's a bit going on. Here's my point with all of this. Shit happens. You all have things in your life that will take you to that breaking point, you know, sometimes. What's important to do, though, as an entrepreneur, you are in charge of your life. No one else is. You don't have a job description. You don't have a boss telling you, go home. You know, you've worked really hard today. But there are times that, like, even in jobs, have you ever worked like really late because there was a big project or there was a function on and you were required to be at the function to socialize with people, like things like that? Like, there's always moments in our careers where you will do more at various times, but then less at others. And that's the fabulous thing about being an entrepreneur is I look at January, I had the best time over Christmas and January because that's our Australia school holidays, 7 weeks of the kids at home. That's not always amazing, but we went away so much and grateful for the experience because so many of you are in lockdown and can't even do that, can't go out. You know, we went up the Riverland with a jet ski. We went away with friends for a week in a house. We just did so much. It was amazing. So there are times where you can, you know, have the good times and still have income coming in. That's the beautiful thing about residual income and building online. And there's other times where you're going to work harder. So I'm all up for that. I'm still trying to get to my point, though. The point is what I've learned to do, and this is what I would encourage you to think about. Just work out what it is you need to do and move on really quickly. Like, I've only had about 3 hours sleep, but I plowed through so much work last night that I can go to lunch with Dad today with my sister, feeling comfortable that I'm kind of you know, almost up to date. I've already moderated a room in Clubhouse. Who was on Clubhouse this morning with us? Make sure you join me next week on Clubhouse. I've put the alert on my page on Instagram. We talked about content creation and it was an amazing discussion. And we talked so much that we ran out of time that I'm doing part 2 next week. So I've already moderated a room in Clubhouse. I've gone live in the video challenge right up until the knocker of coming live here. Like, I'm busy. But I love what I do and I'm happy. And do I look drained and exhausted to you guys? Yeah, I might be a bit tired, but I'll go to bed early tonight. Like, shit happens. Things get in the way. You get stressed. You deal with that. But just pivot really quickly. If you know you get to that point where it's all too much, then what I did and what my sister told me to do, she said, get outside and get your feet on the ground. Have you guys heard of grounding? Bare feet on grass. So I just went outside, you know, and just took my shoes off and put my feet in the grass and just allowed myself to sort of calm down a bit, and I refocused. So what really needs to be done tonight? And there were a number of things that need to be done, hence I got to bed at almost 3 o'clock in the morning, but they're all done. Like, it's just one night. I can go to bed early, you know, tonight. It's not the end of the world. But just refocusing and doing what you need to do. And if you're at complete overwhelm and you can't pivot quickly like that, it's like, time out. Honestly, time out. Switch off. Switch off from social media. Turn it off for 24 hours. Go and do something nice for you. Have a conversation with, you know, a friend. Reach out. I have some of the most amazing people in my network marketing team that absolutely have my back. And they may have known yesterday that things weren't quite right. And they're like, what can I do? Tell me what I can do. I'm here to help. You know, that, like, there's people around me that if I ask, I'm sure they'll help. I'm just really bad at asking. So, you know, there's that. It's not sitting in the confusion. It's not sitting in the overwhelm. It's not sitting in the crap. It's learning to pivot really quickly and get yourself out of it. So yesterday I had that feeling of that stress, and I'm human. And yeah, I do probably a lot more than most people. But today I've, you know, little sleep. And I'm not saying that's what you need to do either. Don't get my messages wrong. But I pivoted really quickly, and that's what you want to learn to do as an entrepreneur, because social media is too busy. There's too many things going on. If you're in this industry of a home-based business, direct selling, network marketing, and you do have a team, and end of month is something that's important to you, it goes nuts. Like, you've got to have those times where, okay, I'm on it, end of month, and take a breather, you know, maybe a couple of days later, and then get back on it for the next month. But you've got to be able to pivot, and pivot really quickly. Don't wallow in the overwhelm. Don't wallow in the stress. Don't stop yourself from moving forward because those occasions happen. Recognize that they do. Slow down when you need to. So there are elements of that, and there's lessons for me. I know there's probably things in the comments, so you do too much, you need to slow down, all that kind of stuff. I know. And that's for me to think about and work out. But I feel great today. And I feel, you know, on form and on point, and I've been productive already, and I'm going to have a nice lunch with my sister and my dad for his birthday and not feel guilty about it. So it's the key to being a really effective entrepreneur is just pivot really quickly and do whatever it is that you need to do. Some of you may need to just take a day out or a week out when it gets really bad, but nothing is this a word? I'm going to make it a word. Unfigure-outable. Don't you love the words that I come up with? Nothing is unfigure-outable. You can figure out anything, but you got to allow yourself the space. So I had so much to do, but I could feel the stress in my blood yesterday. And so I sat in the front room and I just sat for a minute. And I actually, some of you may have seen it, I actually did an Instagram post just talking about it. And I got comments under that, you know, saying, thank you for letting us know that you're real as well. And that's why I'm sharing it on this live today, because it's all part of the journey, guys, and it's not bad. It's not bad. These kind of times are needed to pull you out and share, you know, have the lessons learned of how you can do it better and manage it better. And it's okay to give yourself some grace to step away. Social media is very forgiving. For a moment there last night, I felt like putting a notice on my page here saying, guys, something's coming up. I'm not going live tomorrow. But I pulled myself out of it because I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. When my sister rang, I burst into tears, and, you know, it was all on yesterday, but I needed to do that. Crying is not bad. Some of you don't cry, I'm sure, but, you know, letting it out and doing whatever. And just take from this, my message is the people that you look and learn from and look up to and think they've got 100% together. They don't. No one does. Everyone, including me, has their doubts, has their moments of stress, takes too much on, you know, all those kind of things. We're all human, and I'm not any better than you. I'm just further along in my journey than you. That's all. I've probably done a hell of a lot more live videos than you. I've probably invested in more training than you. I've probably invested in more mentorship than you. I've just done things that I'm further ahead than you are. So it puts me in a different spot. But I'm no better than you. I've just probably experienced more. But what I really appreciate about this journey in this entrepreneurial world is how I've learned to pivot, and pivot quite quickly. Now, if I was feeling the same way today after only about a few hours sleep, I would probably be thinking, I need time out, even though I'm in the middle of a video challenge. But I don't feel like that today. I've bounced back. And, you know, it's great to be here with you guys and talk about this. And I hope you don't mind just me sharing rather than teaching you something today, because I think it's really important for you guys to see the people you look up to and learn from. They're still only human, and we all have limits. But it's not wallowing in that. It's not falling in a heap for a week. It's having the realizations, okay, you need to slow down, or I'm going to work for a few hours tonight, knock this over so I can go to lunch with my dad tomorrow and not stress about it. So I'm going to have a lovely lunch shortly in an hour or so, because it's lunchtime in my part of the world, with my dad, and celebrate his 89th birthday and not feel guilty about that. I will come home. I will check my messages and get back on top of things. I will prepare, finish off my training tomorrow in the coaching community, guys. Coaching community people, the iOS 14 update. So the iPhone update, whether you got an iPhone or not, that update is going to affect all of us. So the exclusive training in the coaching community tomorrow is helping you understand what it is. And those of you that do Facebook advertising, particularly what you need to do about it. So that's the exclusive training in the coaching community tomorrow. So If you want to join us for that, the link is above to join in the coaching community. You're not locked into anything. You can leave anytime. It's a monthly coaching community, okay, where I share all my good stuff, all the practical stuff, and give you done-for-you engagement posts every week and done-for-you content creation ideas. Did all of that last night, guys, those of you in the coaching community. So the done-for-you engagement post and the content creation idea is in the group now. I emailed it out to you last night as well, really late. And I encourage you, coaching community members, to actually do what I said with the content creation idea for this week. The challenge is on, okay? So what are you guys saying? Just want to check in with some of your comments here. That's it, Ellen. Unfigureoutable. It's a new word. Laurie, you are so good at showing us that it happens to all of us and how to come out of it more quickly. Love your example to follow. And that's really my point for today. Work out what you need to do and just move through it quickly. Now, mine is I can get back on the wagon really quickly. That's what I've learned to do. You may not be there yet. You may need more space. You may need more time out. That's okay. Don't make that wrong. We're all human at the end of the day, and you don't have anything if you don't have your health and your sanity and all that kind of stuff. So we got to look after number one first. Marie Forleo has an amazing book called Everything is Figureoutable. So it is a word. Oh, I said unfigureoutable. So yeah, everything is figureoutable. There you go. I think I knew that from Marie. Maybe that's where I kind of got it from. I love this. I've been there and get to pivot thanks to you. Awesome. Such a good idea to go out and ground yourself, taking a breath. Yeah, it really is. And that was what was on my Instagram post yesterday. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me over there. It's just Helen Martin Online. Everything I do is Helen Martin Online. It's just stopping. Just stop and breathe. And if you've got some grass, take your feet off and take your feet off. Don't take your feet off. Take your shoes off. And ground yourself. Oh, I was actually talking to a coaching client of mine last night, and she's also a specialist in Chinese medicine. We're talking about headaches. Some of you guys might know I get a lot of headaches. And I was talking to her about I had a really, really, really bad headache on Sunday, but I pulled myself out of it later in the day. And for some reason, as long as I'm not vomiting and I can't get my head off the pillow, then I will force myself to go and get some exercise. I don't know whether it's blood flowing or what it is, but it helps me. And she actually said to me, do it with no shoes on. I'm like, well, go for a walk with no shoes on? I said, that might be a bit difficult on the pavement and stuff like that. Be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And she said, just do it for a while, because apparently they, I'm going to explain this wrong. She explained it right, but it's something about, you know, the pressure points, I think, in your feet and the ground pushing into the pressure points helps you with, I don't know, circulation. I could be making that up, but it really helps when you got a headache to go and walk outside with no shoes on and, you know, put that pressure, not only like grass, which is soft, but, you know, put the pressure underneath your feet. There you go. Did any of you know that? I learned that last night from her. She's amazing. There is a book called Everything is Figureoutable. So that's obviously Marie Forleo. She's amazing too. Happy birthday to your dad. Thank you, Christine. We all need time to be human. Absolutely. Crying cleans out the sore, awesome, and an awesome stress relief. And, you know, something that always sticks in my mind about crying is, you know, there are times, and I'll still do it now, when I talk about mum and I get upset. And it was really, you know, as a teenager as well, when you lose your mum, nobody knows what to say to you. And everyone goes, you know, and even later in life when you talk about it and you get upset, and people's natural reaction to that is, oh, I'm so sorry to upset you. I didn't mean to upset you. My typical answer to that is, I think it's great when I cry for my mum. It's just, it helps me release that emotion and grief that I still hang on to, because no girl should grow up without their mum. And that's my story. And I will always miss her, and it'll always get me. But I don't. So it still gets me. I don't think that's a bad thing. If I tear up because I miss my mum, it's because it's still there. It still hurts. It doesn't rule my life. But I think it's a good thing to let out your emotions if you're still grieving, you know, for someone. It was a long time ago, but it's still, obviously, I'm sure you've lost loved ones that you do this too. Like, this is not unhuman. It just happens, doesn't it? But I don't think it's a bad thing to cry. I think it's a good thing to sort of release it. Yes, Marie Forleo. We will all understand if you don't go live and take some time off. Assign a boot camp to us. Give us homework and take a week off. Well, I could do that too, couldn't I? That's why you guys are so awesome. Love you to share. We are your family too. Oh, I love that, Faye. Thank you. Happy birthday to my dad. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing and being vulnerable. Oops, hang on. Oh, there's lots of comments here. I have heard that bare feet in the horse paddock is super grounding. Oh, like what kind of things are on the ground in the horse paddock? Like a lot of manure and stuff, Susan? Is that what you mean? I hope you and family have an amazing lunch together. Happy birthday to your dad. We'll be happy to be with you. Absolutely. Ellen, it's been years since I lost my mum and it hurts too. Yeah, anybody that's lost their mum at any age, I think, you know, we feel that. That's the bond that you have with a mother. Some of you may not have that. I appreciate not everyone has a close relationship with their mum, so respectful, you know, for that as well. Crying is therapeutic. I think so, as well as a huge releaser. Yeah, so I'll go back to your other comments. Oh, I've definitely been real and raw today. But as I said at the beginning of the video, I think it's important for people when they're following people that they look up to and admire, that we're only human and things go wrong as well. Just learn to pivot more quickly. That's what's really going to help you in this weird, wonderful world of social media and entrepreneurialism, is to not stay stuck and be big enough and ugly enough to know when you're stuck. If you're doing the same thing and nothing's changing and you've been in the same position for a year, you need to pivot somehow. If you're in the same company for years and you're still not making any money and you get no support from your upline and you're spending heaps and heaps of money and you've never made any back, or it's just draining you emotionally and financially, you know, take some responsibility for that. If you're overworking yourself, like there are things that I need to think about of what I can ask for help with, you know, those kind of things to ease the burden. But just, you know, that's okay. That's okay. But what you got to do is sit back and evaluate and get out of emotion. Emotion is good. Emotion in the moment is good. Crying is good. Being frustrated is good. You know, in the moment, because it's what you need to experience. And sometimes those emotions come up and you can't control them, like I just did then. Like I can't control that. I, you know, talk about mum and something, you know, comes up. It's completely okay. It's completely okay. You know, cool. Just learn to pivot quickly and it'll help you in every areas of your life. Don't hang on to crap in your life. Don't hang on to, you know, situations with people that, you know, it's still festering in the background and it's really unhealthy for you. Like pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody. If they don't want to talk to you, that's different. But, you know, just deal with those kind of things because you'll have a much happier, healthier life if you do. Okay? So that's my share for today. Now, for those of you that are still on live with me, I do have a question for you guys. I told you about once a month, and I think it might even be longer than that, that I was going to hear, because you guys learn a lot when I do this. I'm going to review somebody's personal profile and somebody's business page and share with you my thoughts. And, yeah, you guys watching me do that process really helps a lot of you. So it's not tomorrow. I've got something else for you tomorrow, but the next day and the next day I'm going to do a personal profile and a business page. And I want you guys to let me know who wants a review, but I want it from a video challenger. So if you're not in the video challenge, we'll get to you some other stage. But those of you that are in the video challenge, personal profile or business link. So personal profile, I can pick up here, like those of you that are saying, yes, me, like, put those comments in so I can see them and I can go back and see who's put their hand up. And even those watching the replay, still put the comments in because I've got a couple of days before I get to this. So say me, yes, please. Actually, what would even be better is personal profile review, please. Because sometimes when you just guys put yes, I'm like, what were they saying yes to? Were they saying yes to my comment or were they saying yes to a personal profile review? So if you can be really specific in your comments, that would be more helpful, saying personal profile review, please, or business page review, please. If your business page is not obvious, if your business page is not linked from your personal profile and I can't find it, you need to give me the link of your business page. I've had that a lot before. People say, yes, business page review, please. So put down one or the other or both. But if it's not, normally what I do is go to your personal profile and pick up the link to your business page from your personal profile, because I can just click on your personal profile from the comments here. If you don't have your business page linked to your personal profile, I might not be able to find it. So I can't review a business page that I can't find. Okay. So you might need to give me the link or put it in the comments section here if it's not obvious. I don't want a whole lot of business page links here in the comments section. So yeah, either if it's on your personal profile and I can find it from your personal profile, you don't need to do anything. If you've said business page. Those of you that it's not linked on your personal profile, I would say to you, why not? If you want to get more people over to your business page, it should be at the very top, like my personal profile. Go and check out my personal profile. At the top, CEO, owner, whatever it says, founder of Helen Martin, they can click on it and it goes straight to my business page. If you're not doing that and you've got a business page, you're missing people finding your business page. So I do need the link to your business page if it's not obvious for me to find. So tomorrow I've got a topic for you, but the next day I will be doing a personal profile review, and the next day after that I will be doing a business page review. But you need to be in the video challenge because I want to share with those people that are actually making the effort to do live videos, you know, because now everybody's looking at you. So what does your page look like? Does it need a little bit of an overhaul? It amazes me the people that actually join the video challenge and want to do a video challenge, and they may be doing their videos from their business page, but their personal profile is absolute crap. No content on it. It's just circle photos, updated profile picture, updated profile picture. Some of them have no pictures of even human beings. It's just pictures of other things. It's 100% shared content. You just can't do that if you're going to do live video. It will destroy you. It won't destroy you, but it's certainly not going to help you build influence, because don't be disillusioned that if you're building on a business page and doing Facebook advertising, that people don't go back to your personal profile and check you out as a human being. Always, 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 always be a human being before you're a marketer. Human being before you're a marketer. Every single time. So that includes the quality of your personal profile. Even though you might be building in a group or you might be building on a business page, your personal profile still has to be amazing. So happy to look at somebody and you can all learn from the process. Okay. I've talked long enough. I've talked for a number of hours in a row in different places now. So I'm going to shoot off shortly and go and have lunch with my father, who is turning 89 today. So I will see you guys same time tomorrow. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for allowing me to share and just talk. Okay. I think it's all part of the process. All right. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.